always it's much delayed. I don't know why. See, I already pushed play on the music. So hello everyone. I pushed play on the music, and it's not going. It didn't start. Very interesting. As I start so YouTube, I notice it's their software through the browser is taking a lot more of the system resources, and so everything else is slowing down. It's problematic.
Sure.
Yeah, it is. So it shows that we've been live for 33 seconds, and I've pushed play. Now it's buffering. Very strange.
Well, we'll see if either Ben. I guess if you were hanging out on Friday night.
Well, we're live, so you can say we can start.
Oh, we're live.
We're live.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we are live, but.
Well, hey Dan, welcome to the front lines. It's been a pretty exciting day today. So, not all good, actually, but exciting nonetheless. Had some pretty amazing revelations. What have you discovered today, man?
Oh,
now we start. See, it's funny. Now I actually have a Pavlovian response. I need the music to start. I need the music. So
I know it gets into the opening, but see, it's still buffering. It's still. I mean, it's just very strange. I don't know exactly how to solve this problem because every time I use the software they're requiring me now to use, right? So they put you in the box and you got to use it this way, but it doesn't work. Right? So you got to figure your way around it. What we hear? This is
Enter your phone number, then. Thank you for scanning your extra card.
I think it must be just taking more memory of my system. Is what it seems like.
Scan coupon now. Insert coupon to your total is 10.19. Please select 16.
I'm Dan Lutz, and I'm here with
DANK.
And we're here on the front lines in the battle against the cabal, the deep state, the Lumadonkeys, and all those that wish to harm all of humanity for their own selfish reasons. Here we go, our second round of an intro. Much better than the first. So how is it going, Tank? Now we're started off.
Well, I will tell you. First, I want to say up front that I have no updates from Kim, other than she has not heard that Trump was poisoned, because I asked her, because some people asked me about that. And also there was something, I guess, that was said about Samsung phones might not work on December 1st. I'm here. I heard that secondhand, and I asked him about that. I said, "Is that true?" And she said, "No." Other than that, whenever Kim is kind of only answering those kind of simple questions for me, means she's usually working hard programming, or she's doing something that is operational and sensitive. So, I don't have a clue what's going on there. Other than, I have a clue. I mean, I know she's waiting on all these other systems, but it might be that the other stages are, taking down the destroyer that she, took out last night, and also potentially, the Legion of Darkness and whatever absolute insane craziness that was trying to control the world from the top of everything, and the Rothschilds, trying to work with Kim as they broadcast out to the world that the RV was just a carrot for the jackasses, is the exact quote. So all that's going on, but so I'm paying attention carefully to see what's next. I really, I've got a bunch of seers calling me and telling me, like, we're all seeing, like, I've had several different, like, intuitives and seers calling me and say, we all see that the money's in the account already. So if money's in, some kind of massive funding account, I don't know where it is. So maybe it's just a mystery to find it, but so that's going on. We did a mock trial today because we did finish the full affidavit, which really outlines every piece of evidence needed to prove unequivocally that they have absolutely no right to pass the law from the Child Injury Vaccine Compensation Act, right, of 1986. That they have absolutely no right to pass that law. In fact, because it's so unconstitutional, it is a no law. But, Dan, you might not know this because, our very incredible Michelle Walker, she actually went into the case law of all this stuff. And did you know that it is not true that Congress is exempt from being prosecuted or from being indicted or charged or whatever, right? Because if they
Oh, you're cut off. You can't say those things. Bad boy, Tank. Oh, they can be held responsible for the things that they do, liable.
Isn't that amazing? So
you were cut off. Just so you know, you were cut off for the last minute.
There's always another part of the law that gives the whole story.
You were cut off.
So if we just know the right,
Hello.
know our rights,
we
know how to use them.
Hello.
Now we can go and say,
hello, Tank.
My natural law, my human right of informed consent.
Tank doesn't hear
what
me.
my product does, and plus.
Hello. They're really messing around, aren't they? Oh, they don't want this word out that the Congress can be held liable. It's interesting. Hello, Tank. Hello. This is Space Command to Galactic Unicorn. Come in, Galactic Unicorn.
Galactic Unicorn experiencing technical difficulties. How are you?
Well, you cut off just you got cut off just when you said It's not true. Congress can be held. I hear you. They're really messing around now, aren't they? I wonder if it has to do with this new software they're using. Hello, Tank. Very funny, huh? Okay, hello, Tank. You're back again. Hello, again. Hello. I'll have to sing. If you're not here, I'll have to sing.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, good.
So you got cut off when you said that it's not true. That Congress can be held. You're cut off. So they don't want this word out, right?
Yeah. So Congress can be held. Yeah, I guess.
Michelle
Congress can be held accountable.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So so basically, they're not off limits, right? Like they don't, you can't try them for some heavy thing, but they've passed this law that removes any liability or consequences from Rothschild-controlled death organizations, and they are guilty of treason for waging war on the American people. So the committees that are over this, right, it goes back to like the Energy Committee, which is actually what the Q, right, goes back to. So I'm like, wait,
yeah,
this probably somehow traces back, right?
That's true.
And I think that's
the security clearance level security clearance level is under the Department of Energy.
right. So I'm like, maybe that's a clue.
Maybe
Not a lot of people know, but not for the Q. And it goes back because everything that they used to control can control, right? So if that could be where the SES is set up, right? And where you have the unknown country registered somehow or something like that. It traces back there, which would make, I'm hoping, this is like way out there crazy, by the way, but I'm hoping it all goes back to just Kim.
We can't go there. If it's way out there and crazy, we can't talk about that here.
Yeah, that's crazy. After the destroyer and all that stuff, but yeah. So basically, I'm hoping and think that maybe I can just go directly to Kim and be like, can we just undo this law because it's a no law, and all it takes is for people to stand up and declare, right?
Okay, what is the law? Do we declare a no law?
Well, it's not a law. It's a
yep.
What
is
under
it?
Jurisprudence, right?
What does it say? What is the one that what do we have to go and what do we write down? Say this is the law that needs to be, or the non-law that has to go. What is it?
Well, what the law says is that the drug companies who are making the vaccines, right? Because they made vaccines and they had 400 deaths from the flu shot back in 1986. So they said, well, we're not going to make the vaccines anymore, right? If, because the liability is too much, right? So the government made a passageway. No, you got to make them, right? Because that's the process, right? We need to kill people off, right? So, not the government, but it's really the Rothschilds within the government, kind of, the dragon families. So, and the United Nations controls the CDC and the FDA and the WHO, right? So basically they said, no, we'll set up a fund because we know we're going to pay out damages on the vaccines because the Supreme Court ruled that vaccines are unavoidably dangerous, right? There's just risks attached to having vaccines. And what's so ridiculous is with vaccines, they base it on old vaccines like the polio vaccine or the measles vaccine, like that was first formulated in like 1946, right? Or 46. But the current vaccine was made in like 1966, right? And it has actual DNA from this aborted fetus with leukemia that's been, they call it a continuous cell line. In other words, it's a cancerous cell line that they keep reproducing. And so it's completely changing the formula. the original measles vaccine was just the live measles virus. That's all it was.
Right.
Right? And they cultured it on the spot and they injected it. And so they said, look, it's a double-blind study, which is true for what a vaccine can do. But that's not what they've been creating. What they've been creating are these death machines, right? So basically this law, it gave them license to increase all of the the concomitant concoctions that are made, right? When you take 9 different vaccines and you combine them, there's never been a study to show what happens when you combine 9 different vaccines, right?
Right.
And now, it's in one of those vaccines that a baby is given its first 6 months of life, and I couldn't even believe this when I saw it. It's 5 milligrams, right? So I'm not sure exactly how the math of this, but you tell me if this is right here. So 5,000? No, it's like, I forget what it is. It's like 5 micrograms, right?
Well,
so 5 micrograms is toxic for a grown man. 5 milligrams is like 100 times that, I think.
yes.
So you're getting a baby that can't be more than 15 pounds, let's say. 100 times the toxic dose of aluminum. And just to make sure that it makes its way into the brain, where it will do the most damage, you mix it with polysorbate 80 to open the blood-brain barrier and allow it to actually enter into the cells. Now, this guy, Chris Axel, he's a scientist, researcher with his expertise in aluminum out of, I think, England somewhere. He's shown how when he opened up the brain of kids with autism, what he saw was very, very high levels of aluminum, but what he saw that was most unique was it was actually intracellular aluminum, meaning it had actually gotten inside. It didn't just bind to the tissue; it got bound inside the cells. That's damaging, because that's like one step away from becoming an android, right? And that's basically the kind of thing they're trying to do to inject us with nanites or whatever.
Right.
So, so that's the law. Now, all of those things are not disclosed because how could they disclose it? How could they have informed us of those things? Because they haven't done the research, technically or otherwise, to tell us the damages or the benefits, and they have no intention of doing it, right?
Right.
So that becomes that is an unconstitutional law, because you can't provide informed consent. You are doing harm to the American people in mass, right? You're taking away our religious freedoms, our conscious freedoms, and
you're trying to kill us.
You're trying to kill us, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, what the hell's going on here? Nobody else. So you got to think, this past week, when all the military guys around the world, right, are listening on Kim's call, and they find out the RV is not happening, I'm hoping their whole false reality they created is finally setting in too. Like, oh my God, we were about to genocide everybody on the planet because we thought, we were going to be rich, and probably there's a whole bunch of other things they think are true too. But the plates are going to shift, and global warming is going to blow us up, and there's a meteor heading for us. Think of all the things they told the military guys to get them to buy into. We got to kill these people off, right? And they all bought into it. And last week, you have one of the Rothschilds come out and finally really just submit to Kim, wants to work with her to fight the the Order of the Black Sun, right?
Yeah.
And so imagine these guys' whole world just crashed in around them, right? It's like, everything that you thought was real, it's not, right? So everything they've been fighting to do to impose this on us, and just to preserve themselves. So all of these people that we think are protecting us, they've all been working against us. They've looked at us like we're nothing. And in this, and I refuse to call myself a victim, but it's hard to look at this almost any other way. We've been a victim of the circumstances, doing all we can to rise up. But it's incredible how much you have to go in to find this stuff out. How absurd it is to the natural state of the way humans think to want to do this or to even be able to. Most of us would die first before we would be the spark that triggers genocide, or like we'd never hurt our child. We would definitely die first. That's what part of being human is, right?
Right.
So this whole thing, so it's ridiculous that we have to jump through all this. I really feel about it. It's ridiculous we have to jump through these hoops. That I'm not allowed to say that we have the cure for cancer, because we do. We do have the cure for cancer, and screw the FDA and the CDC. You are not over me, and you're not over any of these people. We do not consent to any of your bullshit laws. You're garbage. You are not over the Constitution, and we are. We're the people. The people are the highest court in the land, but the people have to come together to take that stand together. So, anyways, basically, Michelle Badass Walker, she dove into that stuff. She took my affidavit, which was actually very well written to begin with, and she just gave it all the substance and weight it needed, and I added all the case law and the constitutional, appropriate constitutional language. Even like when it comes to the U.S. codes, I didn't know this, but it's supposed to be a lowercase u,
right,
and then a capital S,
right,
then the code, which I didn't know that.
Yeah.
If you like the bold caps both, I mean, I know that applies generally, but I didn't know it was like a lowercase u and a capital S. I mean, very specific stuff, right? Or like I put in there something about evidence, and she's like, well, actually, you have to put in their evidentiary for this because this is what they were supposed to show. I was like, wow. So, very, very impressive.
Yeah.
And those are the little things they trick us with,
Yeah, that's everything is a word bomb, like a landmine, where you step on it and that's not what I meant.
Yeah. So
hey,
it's really insane.
I just while we're talking, I just realized, because I know Lisa was going to yell at me, because I reversed the front lines now. I just remembered to do it. So.
Oh, good. All right. Cool.
I had to reverse the image, so I uploaded it backwards. So anyway, there
cool.
It's fixed. There you go, Lisa.
All right. So then my last update. I can't show details about what happened with the autopsy. Actually, to be honest, it's kind of something I expected, but the autopsy was impossible to complete today. But the funeral home owners did take James Beal over to the forensic pathologist, certified board, whatever, doctor, to do the autopsy. And in that, they did find some bruising on his lower back that was suspicious, and also some bruising on his nostrils, which could imply that his nose was pinched off and potentially suffocated. But there's more to it, because he was missing some parts as well that I can't go into. But I will just say that basically they did what we thought they would do, which we were afraid of, is that it appears that they have hidden that evidence, right? And we recorded everything because we actually called the coroner, and he told two different stories in about 30 seconds, right? He was obviously covering for what my suspicion is that the funeral home owners actually removed something that they knew was going to demonstrate evidence of foul play. So there's that. And, I got to be honest, I spent, that really took me back. Knocked me off my feet for a minute today. Because I'm like, I cannot believe how ridiculously useless and how there's absolutely no integrity whatsoever in the judicial system. And I don't even know where to look. Because it's so bad. If people do not stand up and take back this country, what I will tell you, don't you dare go to a court. Don't call the cops either, by the way. I mean, in my opinion, the cops have a lot. I'm saying I know there's good cops, but I would not call them. Because I can tell you for a fact
Well, the
that
good.
in this case,
I
Go ahead.
was saying the good cops are just as caught in it as we are. They're stuck in the system, right? And they play with their lives. You know, they basically turn on their brothers.
yeah. Well, I'll say this. Now, tell me, anybody out there who has some experience, right? Now, I want to be clear. We've gathered all this evidence. Like, I heard it with my own ears. I listened to the coroner myself say these things. I just can't even hardly believe it. The coroner says they took whatever that I'm not going to say, and they were testing it for trauma, right? Now, here's the question: when did you begin? When did you take those things out of this little boy to test it? Now, if you did it right away, right, which is what you should have done, if you did it right away, stay the first week, then that information should have been presented to the mother at the time she went back to the hearing trying to fight for custody of her daughter, right? But that wasn't even mentioned. They never mentioned anything about trauma, because 8 hours after this little boy was pronounced dead, they already ran an article in the paper. The cops ran an article in the paper saying there was no evidence of foul play. Well, the fact that you ran that article so quickly, it automatically implies there's evidence of foul play. And how is there no evidence of foul play? Are you the worst, idiotic, useless cops in the damn world? You don't think? I think there's plenty of evidence. There's 2 orders of protection against 2 men who live in the house, one against a little girl and one against a little boy. They're against the mother that he sodomized and raped and admitted to it in court. And the 44,000 pictures of child pornography that are on the computer. Were these cops that retarded and useless, that drunk, drugged up, and do they have something so bad on them that are they getting paid? That how much money would you have to be paid to take those 2 babies, put them in that house, and then when one turns up dead, you're still such a piece of garbage that you don't even have the integrity to be like, no, this is jacked up. We can't let this happen. But you just sign off on it. No, nothing suspicious here. No big deal. No big deal. Either that or you're the most retarded cop to ever exist. You should be fired out of a cannon. Just useless. Right? So, now that's the first thing. So now, here we are, 3 weeks have gone by. There's a court order to do an autopsy, a court order that was given to Kara to get an independent autopsy. She's having all this trouble getting it done because they're blocking her everywhere, right? So she finally gets it done, and they didn't even give her the whole body, right? So now the coroner, he gets busted. He talks about the parts they took, but there was another part missing. And he's like, no, we sent that over. And she goes, no, you didn't. So then he pretends to check boxes. He goes, oh, let me just check. He plays like
Oh, look, I found it over here in the corner in this box.
He goes, oh, yeah. It's here. That is here. And she goes, well, why did you take that? This part was questionable. He goes, well, we were checking for, URIs, upper respiratory infection. I'm like, what? What the heck? What? It's so ridiculous what he said.
Yeah.
It was such a ridiculous. And remember, the funeral home director, the 2 funeral home directors, right? Now, I recorded that call too. I hope you hear this call, you idiots, because I'm not from Illinois, so I can record whoever I want. But I'll tell you what. Here's something else about that. She gave me a great piece of evidence. She said the coroners, who are law enforcement, that's what she told me. Well, in Illinois, if you're law enforcement, people can record you, right? Because people are always getting taken advantage of. So they have a lawful right to record. So thanks to that woman for telling me that. Because on this call, now, I was much more cordial than maybe I am usually. Now I always try to be polite, but I was very, very humble on this call because I really want to get the information. And I'm also, you're talking to fewer people, and it's about little boys, so I try to be very sensitive. I was so polite, listened very carefully to everything she said. The first time I called, they immediately heard who I asked for or heard my name and immediately handed the phone off to an agent. Immediately.
An agent? What do you mean an agent?
Because I know agents are. An agent, they had some kind of CIA agent, FBI agent there who's like managing this stuff, who's managing them. Right?
Got it.
Because they want to cover up the crime. Right?
Right.
They're there to cover up the crime. So, anyway, so this woman makes a mistake in telling me that she's on the medical examining board. It's like, oh, now it makes sense why that's the only funeral home that would accept it, right? Why they wanted the exam done at that funeral home. Why they only wanted the doctors that they recommended to do the examination.
Is it owned by the judge?
I don't think it's owned by the judge, no.
I'm just curious, but yeah.
But this woman's part of it. She's part of the whole process, right? Because that whole area is filled with this whole massive satanic pedophile group, and it's just a normal process, right? And right now, the reason why they're picking on Kara is because Kara went live with it on Facebook and stuff like that. And then what that's doing is bringing all this attention to Kane County.
Right.
Now, look, I'm telling you, Kane County is the Canaanites. They are feeding on kids. They're trafficking kids. That place needs to be investigated immediately because I heard all about it from one of the people who grew up in that general area.
Well,
and I'm pretty sure it was Kane County. And she witnessed 1,000 deaths a month. Now, how are you having 1,000 deaths a month in that place?
Right.
Because you got the funeral home, the church, the police, the police station, the hospital. It's all in one thing, and they got tunnels and archives under there. I guarantee you, if you go there, you'll find the tunnels.
Right.
It'll be filled with dead bones of dead babies. Who knows what else?
Well, you know what? When you're going to start a new community, a county, you're going to think about names, and so what's top of your list? Well, let me pick the Canaanites. Let's name it after them. Right. We're right next to Sodomite County, so.
Kane and Sodomite County. Yeah. Cook County and Kane County.
Yeah.
Right next to each other.
So
maybe
obviously there's some issue there. They're going to name it Kane County. I mean, unless they were growing sugar. I guess that could have been sugar cane.
In Chicago? I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's in Chicago. So something up with that part of Illinois, isn't it? Oh my goodness! I just realized something. Remember I told you that I was on the secret tomb adventure looking for an Egyptian tomb in Illinois.
Yep.
Back to the Egyptians, the old religions.
So I don't understand this exactly, right? But I know our history is all jacked up, right?
Yeah.
So we've got everything way over in Egypt, right? The Hebrews over in Israel, right? All these things, right? But we know that that over in New Mexico, they have the original 10 Commandments, and it's thousands of years old. It's impossible, right? According to what we would think was real. It's like, how is that written there in this ancient Aramaic, right? And they asked me, I don't even know, because they bury it. You can't even hardly research it, right? But it's
I didn't know about it.
In stone.
I don't know about it.
Yeah, so it's inscribed in stone in New Mexico. I think it's New Mexico. But over in, that general area, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have that. Then the things you're talking about, right? So you have the pyramids. And then if you go down that whole belt, you'll see all these different towns that are all named after, they're all
Egyptian.
Egyptian things, right? But you also have a tomb that was discovered that this man swears was Alexander the Great's. And I think it's Illinois as well. And he actually had these big coins he found, all types of different artifacts in there, right?
Yeah.
And it was looted from a lot of the gold and stuff. but there was massive coins and tablets telling the story of Alexander the Great, and there was a massive what's it called, sarcophagus, or two of them, right? Of like, he said, like a body was like 10 feet tall, right? And I think, I want to say it was like he was there with like the Queen of Bathsheba or something, you know, something in that world, right? But it's like an amazing thing to have there. And he was describing how to get up there and all these different things. Now, if you follow that down, right, through those paths, you'll end up hitting there in the is the Rocky Mountains there in North Carolina or something like that. But there's tribes that sometimes people refer to as like.
You mean Appalachian?
Sure. Yeah, might be Appalachian. But as you follow down through, you'll see there was tribes there that when the I don't know, white people came in, right? That there was already tribes there, and the tribes, they weren't like the way they're described, like savages were like this is the way it's described. I would never say this. They were like described like wearing loincloths. No, they were wearing like fully developed sewn clothes and European styles and stuff. Living there already. Like that was the Native Americans. They were, very well developed cultures, right?
Right.
And not just the following the herds kind of thing, like just very well developed farmers,
Right.
So you have that, which we don't even talk about. Then you go down to Hot Springs, and Hot Springs is famous for this. But no, we're not taught this. But Hot Springs is famous for this massive peace convention with all the Native Americans. They all came together, and they all willingly laid down their weapons outside of Hot Springs. And they went into the healing springs of Hot Springs, Arkansas, right? Now, in Hot Springs, Arkansas, you have Mount Ida. Now, Ida is the mother of Enki, right? So you have Mount Ida, and you also have the Blue Mountain in Hot Springs. And the Blue Mountain has a blue tinge to it because it's filled with blue crystals, right? And nobody talks about these things, but the mythology behind the energy of the blue dragon, the etheric dragons, right? There's this whole idea behind this. And that would also be where you have this horizontal plane of mountains that runs there, which would create a cross, right? So you have mountains going, north to south, and then you have mountains going east to west. And in the midst of that, you'd have the 0 point. Now, if you understand 0 point from the idea behind energy, that would be likened unto your heart. And that would be the 0 point of creation. And if you ever listen to somebody, when people don't understand this, they talk about that, when you allow your feelings and your emotions or your heart to feel as if something is already done and you are focused on it with your mind, you put those together, but the strength is in the heart. As a matter of fact, the heart conducts, right? Because everything in the body conducts electricity. And you can think, well, what's the organ that conducts the most electricity? Well, the heart conducts 100 times more electricity than the brain. And then it's something else that creates 500 times more of something else too, right? From the heart. So the heart is the 0 point, the center of creation. So my theory on this, right, is that Hot Springs represents that energy. That's why you have these healing waters coming up from the earth, right? That's why you have the Clintons, who are like the epitome of evil, why they made their nest there, because there's so much power there,
Right.
Healing energy, that they tried to pervert it and make it something evil, which is why Arkansas is such a nasty place. I mean, I'm sure there's lovely things about Arkansas, but I mean, all the legal stuff going on there, right? But also, this is amazing. This really old woman who I just happened to, run into through contact, right? This fascinating woman who works with Michelle Walker down there. She was saying how she met this man 40 years ago. This guy, and meeting him, and he was talking about the lost. Oh, I never remember what it's called, but it's famous lost Native American gold, right? And it's hidden in Mount Ida, and she had the exact coordinates And she told me that she actually said, I'm supposed to get it. She said, whenever you're ready, I'll give you the coordinates.
I'm ready.
So I'm like, maybe now. I need some help.
Yeah.
So, but I think I'm just fascinated by that whole strip, right?
Yeah.
So what they do is from the 0 point, right? They limit what we can do. They make the only thing that we can accomplish, it's physical, right? So this goes back to the Bible, where you have, how did they come up out of Egypt? Well, they came up out of Egypt by slaying a lamb, right? Now the idea is, well, we're the lamb, right? So they made us all act like sheep. We'll believe anything you tell us. Oh, okay, I'll do that, right? We're just docile. They took the blood from the lamb, they put it on the 2 side posts of the door, and on tops, top, bottom. So now if your 0 point was the center of the door, and you can imagine the light, like from a star, going out in the direction, and up and down and left and right, it would get stopped by the blood. It was on the side of the door. In other words, the blood is symbolic of the flesh. So that's why, so they cast a spell. That was the old covenant. So that's what they're trying to do here. That's why they do all these. That's why they do all these sacrifices. Above hot springs, below hot springs. I'm sure they do it to the east and west too. They're trying to limit our connection, not just to God above, but to God within the earth. That's my theory.
I get it.
But I'm right.
I will accept your premise there that is a center of energy, and it makes sense. That's why they want to absorb all the power structures, right? They go to the power points and they build churches, right? They take them over, because they want to absorb all the power. It's the nature of the being a parasite. Well, I think yeah. Well, we're experiencing this real time, but I think having access to supplies of gold is going to be pretty important. Things that have been set up and for in the past for this time. I'm aware of another, let's just say, stash that's quite large that I was already on the expedition and found. So there was things out there that there's timing where these things come into play. And it's now. We see this playing out in the politics with Trump and Q. We see these things are proceeding. So we're on the right path. Right? We're ascending. We're not descending. And those that have been keeping us down, they're falling away. One step after another, they just fall to the side. So that's why we've been suggesting that it's time for those people that have been kind of like in the gray area, time to reevaluate your position, right, and get on the winning side. Since that was your motivation anyway for staying where you've been, right, is because to be on the winning side.
Screw that. They don't get to come over to the winning side. You don't get to win by killing and murdering, doing everything wrong.
Yeah,
and then jump sides.
I said the gray area people, not the guys that are totally black.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we
if you know people, if you're still supporting people that you are suspicious of doing awful things because their breath constantly smells like dead babies, you know what? Walk away.
Yeah.
Hashtag walk away from them all.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So, not the others. Yeah.
That's a movement right
we
there.
send them to the island first, and then we'll decide later. But we need to give them all the vaccines to enter the island. All the vaccines.
Yeah.
You know what? That's actually something. Can we use this fun vac on them to have for all these distasteful things that we find distasteful, right? That we cringe about. they should be cringing about themselves, but they're not. So give them the fun back and get them to reject their old ways.
Nope.
Nope.
See, that violates natural law. It's like, no, can't. We can't.
But it's karma. Give them their own medicine.
Exactly.
Right?
There's karmic consequences.
Yeah.
If you, like, Kim is very big on this. Like,
Yeah.
if you take actions to violate someone's free will, that's why, like, of all the amazing things, many horrible
we can say that's the condition for entering the island. It's up to them, disintegrator or the island.
No, that's not fair. No, it's like, look, you can do this or die. It's not really a choice.
Yeah. Well, that's the choices we've had, right?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But that's just like get even stuff and vengeful. Like, it's like, actually, it's more merciful to be like, look, this is what's happening.
So,
right?
so
change your mind, change your ways, change your attitude,
Okay,
whatever.
Okay. Normally, Tank is playing the bad cop, and I'm playing the good cop. Today, I'm the bad cop, and Tank is the good cop.
Yeah. Normally, I'm going to have it. Nah, but I'm. I just look at this stuff. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just always amazed that this exists.
Well, I think it's good to have this conversation because literally, we have these feelings of wanting to revenge, right? They also, it's like we don't want them to continue to do this. So how do we stop it, right? They have. It's not about letting them go into the shadows so that they can come out later when we're sleeping.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I've watched Kim with this, right? I've watched her with people, and along the way, I've been through different levels of desperate, right? So I was so convinced. I finally was at the breaking point with the RV, and I'd been doing that for 2.5, 3 years, and it was, and I'm like an all-in kind of guy, right? So when she was breaking my heart, I was like, oh no, so we would get all these opportunities where we thought we were breaking through. And I had gone in so deep. And, most of the time, she was just teaching me. She was just letting me learn for myself. So that's how I have all these different experiences with all these different owners of trust and, these guys who say that they're the master signer. That's why I don't even flinch when I hear them talk now.
Right.
When they say, this guy, what's this guy's name? Russell J. Gould.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're the boss.
Postmaster General.
Yeah, the Postmaster General.
Hey, listen, all of these efforts, I don't say that people are wrong to do them, or it's just because the maze, has all these doors in it, right? We don't know which door is the correct door, and none of them be the correct door. They may just be fake doors. But, I applaud the people that do these things, right, and take the steps to make their path out. Whether it's the friends that I've worked with in the past, and we built our own indigenous group and their own constitution, and that, or the people that under, say, Pantera de Oro, these people have taken what they know and they've discovered, and they've applied that knowledge to come up with a solution. So these are great tasks, and they all have good intentions, right? To at least my belief is maybe they're not all great 100% good, but I think they are. But these efforts, do help towards changing the reality, right? So, I want to applaud everyone that does them, but I just don't know which one is the most going to have the best success, put it that way. It's like, people that say, oh, you have to become an American national. right? And I have other friends that say, no, that's a trap. So, which
Yeah,
one is it?
it's all a trap to somebody. It's like, to me, it's like I am an indigenous American.
Yes, of course.
Right?
Just like I am.
So, unlike what's her name claiming to be Cherokee, there's nothing wrong with me. Like, I am a Native American.
Yeah, and I
mean, like,
and
literally,
I
I was
also
born
have,
here.
and I have Cherokee blood in me. I can't point to the documents. My uncle had when he died, his wife threw them all out. And so, but I remember he told me all the stories. It was basically the time of Daniel Boone. When they were building forts. He basically could read the letters from our family, right? And so, I'm confident. If I did a DNA test, that I would show up. Hey, you've got some Cherokee or Indian Native American blood in you. So, but and I can't and I can't say from the point of Elizabeth Warren, right, and her saying Native American on a form sometime. I mean, I know that I did that when I was in high school, and I filled out and said, what your heritage is, and I put down, Irish, German, Cherokee, right? So, yeah, but I wasn't trying to get advantage, or make it the way, make it my way, to take advantage or work the system because of that. But and I also remember my mother told me I had Indian blood. Look at my high cheekbones. So I don't know what that means. Why that was a big thing, because Elizabeth Warren's. So I'm not really here to stick up for Elizabeth Warren on most things, but on this one thing, I understand how she may have gone down that line, right? But she took it to the extreme and just said, hey, I'm a Native American. I'm going to take advantage of all these things and get into schools and all this that I wouldn't have been able to get into, So.
Elizabeth Warren is the biggest fraud I've ever seen, right? she has these stupid shows, like, these little things like, hey, come have a beer with Elizabeth Warren. Hey, who's just normal, just like you do? It's me, Elizabeth Warren. Hey, who's doing stuff with regular people instead of fighting in big name politics? Old Elizabeth Warren here. It's like, come on.
You know what? When she did that, I saw that when that was happening, right? That first time she did, oh, well, let's have a beer, honey, right? This, and he said, no, I'm not. I'll do one later. I mean, first of all, that's wrong, right? That didn't make any sense. Her husband not having a beer with her when she asks on this, right? Of course you would. I mean, your wife is going to run for president, and she's doing a social media thing and having a beer on camera. You're going to say, yeah, sure, honey, right?
Yeah.
But the other thing is that when it just seems so disingenuous, I literally was thinking she hasn't ever had a beer. Yeah. And she's going to go, it's a kind of I have expected that.
If you're, what is she, 60 something, right? If she's having a beer, believe me, her husband's like, yeah, I'm gonna score, right? Like, so he's definitely gonna have a beer with her. Like, if it.
Hello. Oh, lost take again. Yeah, well, I don't think Elizabeth has very much that's genuine, and now the stuff she's saying also about the Trump meeting with Mark Zuckerberg at the White House, for dinner, that's colluding with the tech media. It's more collusion. It's billionaires talking with other billionaires. It must be bad. This is so, and then of course, Elizabeth Warren has met with Jamie Dimon from Chase. So, oh, what were you doing there? Were you asking him to turn over all of his money? or you're asking how you could get it for yourself?
They were talking about the Fed coin.
Oh, that's what they were talking about?
Yeah, Jamie Dimon's been trying to figure out how to make the Fed coin the permanent currency, right? For a couple of years now. So everybody's around. It's like, that's the big play, man. Because there's no money, right? There's no real money. They can't have access to it. They have no power. So they think that all the money, all that matters is just having that, that marker in a book somewhere and being able to call it something. But it's so much more than that. It's so much more. Like, everybody should go to speakproject.net when you get a chance and read that warning that was given to them again.
Maybe we should do some highlights sometime. Do analysis. I know we covered that and we read it on the air. Hello, Tank. I said we should do a highlights of that warning letter.
Yeah. You know what? We should. I Kim asked me to, like, what did I think of it, and I hit her back with all the things I got out of it at my first pass. And she was pleased. She was like, yeah. She was that. Couldn't have said it better myself, right? So I feel pretty confident about that part of it. But I've gone back in to read it because it's on the main page of our website. And every time I read it, I'm like, this is deep, man. I mean, plus, because, like, I don't know where I don't exactly know who is speaking.
Right.
I mean, is this like...
Well, I thought, when you first said it, I thought it was
God
Kim.
manifest in the flesh?
Yeah.
Because that's what it seems like to me.
I thought it was
Right,
Kim
like,
speaking at first. All right, that's...
Like, I was in 7 meetings at the same time, and none of you even noticed. Right? It's like, wow. It's like... So, but this stuff's real, And
Hello. Well, it's definitely unusual letter, so I think we should do it again. I think we should cover it because we keep going back to it, so we should probably discuss it more. Have some analysis of it. It obviously has some more importance than it just being a letter.
even the like prints in the background of it, right?
So who was writing the letter?
Well, I think it was. There's just all these. There's just too much I don't know. I don't. That's part of what I get actually frustrated with, because I'm like, I realize I can't tell sometimes, like, like when a kid wants to like grow up, right? Like, just wants to be like the year older, like wants to be as big as a big brother. It's not exactly that. It's like I realize that we are more than what we've been led to believe and allowed to believe. And anybody who discovered what they were capable of, or really tapped into, the power of the human reality, right? They would kill them, right? They'd bury them, erase their history. Man, 4 years ago, nobody was talking about Tesla. Even when the Tesla car company came out, now even when I mention Tesla people, I have to clarify I'm talking about the inventor.
Right.
Now, in our circles, that might be normal, but like mainstream, people just discovered him. They don't realize that every single person is using inventions that were made by Tesla all the time.
Right. Right. Everything's been hidden. I've got another connection to Tesla outside of Wits Ministries now. That's that we're talking to. So it'll be interesting to see, what comes next, right? So, as I said, I think the plan is Tesla's plan. When they trust the plan from Q, I think it's Tesla's plan. I think he's the one that developed it. I think he's the one that basically figured out, because he's a smart guy, right? That these the thing that undid his ability to make things happen was he didn't have control over the money, and he saw the people that did what their intentions were, right? And and that wasn't Christian. In fact, it's the opposite, right? And it's if you develop a time machine, right, and you can see what's going on in the future. At least if it's not even traveling, maybe it's just visual, being able to see the future. Whatever it was, you could make a plan, right? If you know the playbook, then you know how you can counter it. You can set traps. I think that's what QAnon is. I think that is playing out here. I don't know if it's an AI or any of that piece of it. I can guess at it, but I don't think it's an AI developed by Tesla, but it could be. But I think really it's the knowledge there, right? And these crumbs of information that have leaked out that the last president will be Baron Trump, right? In a book that was written in the 1800s. How'd that happen? Yeah. So, these things are coming about in a very unusual way. I think that's why the Democrats are so surprised that anything they do is already countered, right? In fact, it was countered. Future proves past means that they you could tell that this was already laid out in the past, and now only comes about and is visible to everyone at a certain point, right? So then it's in this event that currently happened. So this whole trial or faux impeachment. It's been remarkable. Is there going to actually be a trial? I mean, Trump is saying, "I want a trial," right? He's now saying, "I want it." So is that to goad them, right? If you didn't want the trial, if you wanted the impeachment stuff to all end, and you were Trump, would you be telling them, "Oh yeah, I want you to take me to trial," no, goading them into it? He's been poking at them and getting them to react since the wall, or even maybe before that. But that's when I was really noticing, and I was saying, "Listen, he's poking at them and make them, go up against him. He's trying to show exactly what they are, right? That they don't want a wall, and why they don't want it." We're definitely experiencing some way of knowledge is being gathered, right? That if it's just AI and predictive programming, or is it literally some use of time machines, or time ways of visualizing time that were developed by Tesla? I tend to think it's true. So, there was some confirmation, as well that I've gotten along the way. So, we're going to see some interesting things happening with Tesla's technology. I think we're going to get all of it. Might even be Tesla himself. He might just pop up, as a younger self, right? Because after he developed, he said, "Oh, this is where I can come back into the future, right? And pop in and give everyone all the information that was suppressed." Oh, hello, Tank. I didn't even know you were gone. Are you back? Maybe yes, maybe no. But yeah, at least we can see that Tesla, is a possibility. If he knew that and he had time travel itself, wouldn't you, say, "Okay, this is now I've set the stage. This is the plan. I've now got it down. Everyone has their role. Everyone execute. And then, oh, look, the future unfolds here where I can move my body through time and appear in the future. Boom. Right? And it says, okay, I'm here now. I'm going to give you everything that they prevented from coming out. I think that would be something that would be within the realm of possibility if he actually developed a way of transporting himself throughout time. So let's. I would say we can look forward to that. If not, at least the technology was delivered in a way that the people that took it upon themselves, Fred Trump. I'm sorry, not Fred Trump. John Trump. Fred was Trump's father, so his brother, who was with Tesla, would be able to do something, to set the stage. And he took Tesla's technology, and they did probably build a time machine. So did Tesla not use the time, or did he give the technology on how to make it? Was he able? Maybe he was just able to see the future. So anyway, we're going to find out some interesting things, I think, coming up. What that looks like. Well, it also looks like we've lost Tank. All right, so let's switch gears here a little bit. There are some new Q posts, but let me first check and see what we have in the way of any recent questions. I'm going to look back here. We're still streaming. We're just over an hour in time here. Just scrolling back on there's any questions. If there are any questions, go ahead and put a Q in the front of it and add it to the chat. Okay, no obvious Q's there. So, let me do some commercial interruptions here. Let me talk about. I'd like to thank Linda, who's out there, who has sent me some funds to help move my project forward. I appreciate that. It is a very big help. I still need a little bit more, just for daily maintenance and food and things like that. But I'm not in a critical situation. I've got enough to manage to move to the next phase here. So thank you again, Linda, for all you're doing, and everyone else who has participated with Linda. Thank you very much, and we will look at this as a way of a loan also, and get this back to you as well. Anyone else also? I have I'd love to be able to return everything that everyone's donated. And I will offer it back. And I also understand the people that wish to keep it as just a gift. I understand that that's an aspect of. I used to term it in this way, in forms of a blessing. So if you try to bless someone by giving of yourself without expecting anything in return, I live my life in doing that, right? So I don't want to impose that on anyone, but also want to help people out that have, even when they didn't have much, gave to me. So I hear that Tank is back.
I'm here. Couldn't quite get things to work.
Yes.
Which doesn't make sense. But apparently, the bubble where my house is, just my house somehow. My cellular service doesn't work. Just in my house. But I also have Wi-Fi, so I have to wait for the CIA to chime in, right? And then they're like, okay, we're ready. Now the CIA is in, which I'm sure they were before. I think there's like a shift. Like there's like different segments. Like one area the NSA monitors, and then get home, and it's like, hey, this is CIA territory.
Yes. I get it. I get it. Yeah. Well, anyway, I did, continue talking about Tesla's plan and a little bit of that, and then I kind of went into it, gave a thank you to Linda, who's sent me some funds for proceeding with my project, and thank you for that. And then that's basically about it. I was just kind of going into some things. Well, what is next?
Oh, Kringle.
There's some Q. We
Kringle.
can cover some Q.
No Q. We get it. Stuff's going on.
Okay.
I remember, I love it. I love the Q, the mystery of Q, right? Because it's like, at first I thought Q stood for a question, because he always asks questions.
Yes.
It doesn't really give you intel there, so I didn't really particularly care for that. But then I kind of got into, that's fun, thing to do, I guess. And now I just am totally convinced it's just the quantum system, But what I realized, this is important. There is no quantum system made by any race that is more quantum or more amazing than you, right? People. We're quantum. The energy that we create, every single cell, the atoms, they're quantum universes all by themselves, right? And they can connect and do anything, and amazing things can happen.
Well, Q agrees with you.
I'm sure.
Because he says we are Q.
So of course.
We are Q.
Q agrees with me. I don't need Q's endorsement. But I guess it would, if I was trying to make money, it would make sense though. You can put Q on anything these days to make money.
I do. Let's see. Do I still have? There's a merchandise that is being offered at my YouTube channel, and I have a Q. Where we go when we go all logo. I have the Q-looking logo, and they're on the big mugs and on the. So I haven't had any sales from that. I wonder if those ads are still running. So anyone just reminded me. So if anyone could just pass me a message, let me know if they see any of those ads. Not asking you to participate and get anything, but when I first started, the first two months, there was actually sales from there. People buying T-shirts and mugs, especially the mugs. They like the big Q mug.
Yeah. I don't know. I've seen your advertisements for cups and stuff.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I think is cool.
Yeah.
We would have a whole line of stuff just because I want the gear, right? Not necessarily make money. I want to have my own, I still have residual creative solutions for my own company. I have all these, T-shirts and stuff like that, right? But I would like to have, create change gear, right?
Yes.
I'd like to have a shirt that says I am a creator, right? Like everybody within the network, the vast creator network, it becomes such a natural part of who they are and how it's branded that they won't even write the word create, CREATE. Everyone writes it, even in normal, even in articles you'll see sometimes that'll slip in there KRE8.
Yeah.
I'm that's good branding. That's good branding.
No, it's very effective. Very effective. I've shortened it though. I just put K8.
But then it's Kate.
Yes, I know. But
we're not Kate.
I know, but when I was sometimes when I'm writing, I shorten things, right? So that I come back to it because I'm in the flow. So I just K8.
Oh, for your notes, that's fine. But, when it comes to the brand itself.
Yeah,
right?
branding. Yeah, no, not for branding. No.
But anyways,
we're good.
Yeah, that's all I got. I fought all this to get back to say those two words, and I'm done.
All right, that's it. The battle continues, and we'll be here on the front lines tomorrow.
All right. Have a great night. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, good night, everyone. Subscribe. share, thumbs up, positive comments.